that overlays exactly where the clutch is supposed to be. You do image.
This is the room. The room is talking to you now.
Hello and welcome. We are here in Montreal for the Outrageous tournament at Rage Montreal. I'm joined by Jimmy Wyatt here from Philadelphia.
Hi.
Jimmy, why don't you tell us about yourself?
What's up? My name is Jimmy Wyatt. I throw under Jimmy Bagpipes on Axe Squares. I'm a coach at Urban Axis Philly. I do some of our social media. I was in this tournament earlier, and now I'm not.
Me either, man.
Yeah.
So
The tournament was insane. The
outrageous, one might say.
Very good, Redbeard. Very good. It was the level of competition at this specific tournament was unfathomable, and I threw as best I could, and it was not enough.
I didn't throw as best as I could, and it also was not enough. But yeah, the competition has been insane today. The weekend in general has been unbelievable. Mm-hmm. We had a team tournament yesterday, and the level of competition in the team tournament not only was incredible, but the event itself was just so much fun.
That I did win.
Yeah, you were on the winning team.
I was
for
on
the team
Uncle
tournament.
Willie. I was on Team Uncle Willie, and we squeaked it out. There were only 2 events that we didn't win.
Nice.
Which was pretty good.
So I'm staying consistent, and yesterday there was 2 events we didn't come dead last for my team.
Is that true?
Yeah.
That's I don't. Bummer.
Yeah, you know, you try your best, and sometimes my team for Big Axe Clutch. I hit 60% of our Big Axe clutches. Okay. And that was 2 Big Axe clutches.
Okay.
Out of so it was first to 10.
Yeah.
We hit 3. So
okay.
It went well. I
think overall a lesson to be learned is that we all need to practice a little bit.
Yeah.
And then next year at Outrageous, we will still not be good enough because everyone else will keep practicing.
Well, I think that's kind of the reality that we're seeing here. I mean, there's been so many crazy upsets today that even the people that are practicing day in and day out, the top players in the sport, like, it's really anyone's game from the get-go. It's been crazy.
Something I always go back to. Something I always go back to is that at this level of competition, any of us can beat any of us. It's just who's going to mess up first, who's going to make their mistakes.
Right.
And today, it was me that made the mistakes.
Yeah. And, I mean, there's, like, I just want to give a quick little shout-out. To my younger brother, Jamie Moreland, who this was his first tournament he had ever come to. He was not so lucky in the first round, got sent to B, and then by some crazy happenstance ended up playing Julio in the B bracket.
Amazing.
And he won the first 2 rounds, took Julio to 5.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, Julio pulled it out in the end, but, like, I just want to say big shout-out to my brother, amazing. Jamie. It was an incredible performance today.
That's amazing, which I think is, like I said, a lot of big names, a lot of amazing competition here. People that I've never met or seen in competitions before, though, also here, also showing an outstanding level of skill. Like, people I've never heard of or met. Or
Duncan was incredible today, just on fire.
Yeah, first time seeing Duncan throw, first time seeing Bishop throw.
Yes,
I threw
Bishop's
against
been lights out today.
Yeah, I threw against Marcus Brown out of Detroit as well. We went 5 rounds. He pulled it out, but it was unbelievable how much
Detroit
skill.
has been a powerhouse this weekend.
Detroit's crushing it.
Yeah. And we're going to see some play from Detroit a little later as Bishop is still in the tournament. But right now we are getting to Mike Kump and Cappuccino. We're here in the first round right now. We're throwing our 3rd axes. Really glad to have Jimmy on the stream because he does throw with Mike and know him personally. Maybe you could talk to that a bit.
Mike throws in our Sunday league at Urban Philly in addition to one of our Wednesday leagues at Urban Axis Philly. Mike's only been doing this for, I think, June's a year or something like that.
Yeah.
He's only been doing this for such a short amount of time. He's come so incredibly far.
Just smokes his clutch there.
And then just stares distantly because he's so in the zone. He knows exactly what he's doing. Again, another unprecedented amount of skill, and it's just so natural to him.
Yeah. And also Cappuccino here. Cappuccino is kind of one of the faces from Battle that is just a reoccurring person in tournaments through and through and through. The guy is is very, very consistent. He's always here.
Yeah, and he's he's won the last at least 2 regional tournaments to qualify for round 1, and
that's the regionals that happen out in Philadelphia.
yes,
right?
exactly. Hosted by Urban Access Philly. So just consistent, unprecedented. People say that we look similar, so I take that as a compliment.
Yeah, he's very handsome also, so I would take that as a compliment.
Yeah, exactly.
Here he goes, throwing the big axe. Now, for the folks at home, big axe is 2 points first. We're going NATC rules, straight to points. We need to go bullseye first to unlock the clutch, though. That's the new rules in the NATC as of 2019. So both players have to hit a bullseye. Mike come up to throw for a bullseye here. Oh, unfortunately, it's a 3. So if both throwers are to hit their bullseyes, they can then both agree to throw for clutch or not if they want to.
Yes.
I don't really know if we're going to see a lot of that.
I've seen such few instances of people not going clutch today, unless it's like so unnecessary that it's illogical.
Right.
Everybody's going, both out of like sportspersonship and fairness and
and I think people want to have fun.
Yeah, at this level of competition, like what is there to?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we do it?
And I think it's also like, I mean, maybe you have this in your brain. You're like, oh, if I hit a bullseye, I know his bullseyes aren't as good as his clutch. Like, but I feel like people want to win throwing their best game,
Exactly.
not trying to sneak out a win.
Yeah. We're only gonna get better at or become better throwers if we're playing good throwers.
Totally.
So when you play those matches where it's like handed to you,
right,
then no one's growing. You got lucky.
Yeah, exactly.
So those matches where you really have to fight, those are the ones that are going to push any individual person, which is going to push the community.
Definitely. And we're going for clutches here again. Now, I'm pretty sure, as we were saying with the big axes, clutches are pretty much guaranteed at this point in the tournament for throwing for them, not necessarily hitting them, but
yes,
we're pretty much going to call clutch every time.
Yeah.
And in this case, we're both going to hit it.
Of course, which is going to send us back to Big X, which is, again, the standard at this point.
Yeah. And something else to point out, the Big X, because you can only have one person throwing Big X at a time, we're going to rotate who's throwing first each time. We usually do a little rock, paper, scissors at the beginning to decide who goes first the first time. And then from then on, we'll just be switching back and forth, rotating in and out, just to keep things fair, because it is a little daunting to throw first, or for some people to throw second. You want to keep it balanced.
Yeah, I'm the type of thrower who gets in my head.
Yeah.
So if I throw second, I see my opponent hit their bullseye.
Right.
Both Cappuccino and Cump hit their bulls. So they're going to go clutch, of course. If I see my opponent hit their bullseye, then in my head, if I don't hit this bullseye, I'm out.
Right.
So I prefer to throw first.
Yeah. I've been of the mindset in the last 6 months or so where I will always ask the other person what they want to do, and then let them have their comfort over mine.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be like, I'm more comfortable throwing second, then come to a tournament like this, lose rock, paper, scissors, have to throw second, and be like, oh my God, I never, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because our standard leagues at whatever facility we throw at, they're becoming some version of like training for these type of tournaments. Yeah. So if you can throw out of your comfort zone in league, you might be more in your comfort zone at these tournaments where money's on the line.
Yeah. And by the way, speaking of the tournament itself, this is the first cash tournament in both Montreal and the province of Quebec. So this is a huge event to be hosting here in Montreal this weekend. I just want to say a big thanks to Rage, and the community here has been so welcoming to all of us who have come from all over the place to be here this weekend.
This is, everybody's been so kind and helpful, and the Rage employees have been so eager to like help and like do the thing, and it's new to them, it's new to us. It's been a really cool experience so far.
And I mean, also their usual league targets are done a different way. They don't use the NATF stencils. It does follow NATF regulations, but they're not painted the same as the boards you're seeing today. And they were actually here until about 12:30 last night, changing out all the boards, all the targets, so that the tournament could go on to the tournament standard today.
Exactly. The way people really rally behind these tournaments is really interesting to me. I think for Rage to do it one way, which is absolutely fine for so long, and then all in one night, just like 180, is a pretty cool feat. Woo.
Both clutches.
More big
again. This is so for the folks at home that that maybe don't throw axes, people that are family members that are tuning in, whatever. I just want to make it very clear to most people at home that the level of competition we're seeing today is the 1% of throwers in the NITF. We have over 5,000 registered league members, and the people that are throwing here are, I believe, in all cases of who's left, people that throw over a 75 average. 75 being a perfect match, 81 being the highest possible match you can get. All of these people throwing over that 75 mark, and there is less than 100 people in the world that throw over that 75 mark on average.
There were 48 total people in the tournament today. And the tournament average was a 70. Which is unprecedented.
For all across all 48 people, I believe the average was like 70.2 or 70.1
which is,
or something.
Unbelievable. My personal average is a 72.9. And
I think I hit my first 70 average this season. It was like a 73 something.
And like we said, a 75 is a perfect game. And we throw just under perfect. And there's people blowing us out of the water.
We're showing up, and in my case, going 0-2 on the day, and like
that'll happen. I mean, I lost my first one, I won my second one, and then got blown out of the water in my third one by Space Knight. So it's, again, any of us can beat any of us. It's who's going to have their match at the right time, who's feeling it. Cump's dancing because he's
definitely feeling it. Oh man, and I'm just like looking out at the crowd. I know you guys can't see the crowd at home, but it's just so awesome to see so many friends, family, people from different places. It's just really crazy that we've really had such a huge community come out for this event. And I mean, in the way of league members, for proximity, Ottawa is really the only venue other than Rage that's close to Montreal.
Cappuccino threw a very uncharacteristic 3.
That's an unfortunate turn. So Comp is calling for clutch anyways. This is to put the round out of reach. I wish you guys could see his face when he does that. Oh my god.
I was speaking to Comp earlier about sports anxiety and what's because like I said, I get very nervous when it comes down. Like I choke and I blow it. So I was talking to Comp about like how he handles that, and he made a really good point. He said when it comes to throwing, there's no situation where context is going to help. It doesn't matter if your opponent's up by 10 or 2 or whatever. It only matters that you need to hit your bullseye or hit your clutch. So when he's throwing, the only things he's thinking about is there is a black circle that I need to hit and there is a green dot that I need to hit. There's nothing else going through his head, which is a level of impressive in a different way that he can control.
The mental stability there is just incredible.
When I step up to a line, I'm thinking, oh my god, if I miss this bullseye, I'm out of the tournament. When meanwhile Comp is dancing to small what was the song? The Journey song? What's the Journey song?
I don't know which Journey song.
The popular Journey song.
Don't Stop Believing?
It's dancing to Don't Stop Believing in the middle of a throw. I was going to say Small Town Girl, but that's
not.
That's just a lyric. And then I almost said Uptown Girl, but that's a completely different song.
Yeah, for sure.
Am I good at commentating? I can't tell.
I think you're doing all right so far. Definitely the most fun. No, but I'm just joking around. It's actually a pleasure to have you on the broadcast.
Thank you so much.
I would love to have you back for some other events and stuff too in the future.
Of course.
So.
It's been such a cool experience to both come to these tournaments for the tournament itself, but like making connections is such a huge. Like, I've made so many friends out of just being around them twice a year at these random tournaments. You know?
Oh, big bullseye there.
Yeah.
So we are. Oh no, Cump's still to throw a ball, I believe.
I think Kump requested a bull.
Oh, that's so sick. Big and small.
So are we?
Yeah, they had the opportunity to go clutch on that one, but
So
they did
we're
not.
Staying bulls. Oh. I would love the insight into that, and I wish I could give it to you folks, but we're not in the lanes. We're not really seeing what's happening. We are just to the left out of the... Well, from this view, we're just to the right of you guys. We're in the lanes next. We can see everything that's happening, but we are wearing headsets and can really only hear each other. And, that's kind of the way I like it.
Yeah, I think knowing Kump, I think the thought process behind this is I know I can hit a bull right now. I know it. So that's what I'm going to go for.
We're tied at 2 rounds apiece.
And there it is. It paid off for Kump requesting the bulls.
Wow.
You might as well.
We're looking... The crowd is looking for a device call.
Yeah. So
I had a side view on that. It was... I think it was a good call. That was definitely a 3.
the audience, however, screaming at Cappuccino to get a measurement just to double check. At this point in the tournament, no throwers really in the position to give up a round.
Right.
So if it's close at all, why not measure it? Maybe it'll pay off. Because what's the worst that can happen? It's not, which we already knew.
Yeah.
So take the 30 seconds to measure it, just to make sure you're not giving away a round.
Right. And this is best 4 out of 7 rounds right now. This is best 4 out of 7 rounds right now. And we're currently at 3 rounds for Kump, 2 for Cappuccino. So if Kump does win this round, he moves on. This is our B bracket action, though. So after we wrap this one up, we're going to go back up to the A bracket to see LaChance and Bishop playing in the next round. I'm going to have our good friend Mark Davis join us for that one. But for the duration of this match here,
Kump crushes a clutch.
And Cappuccino to match. He's there. So we're going back to Big Axe. We're still in this one.
Who is left in the tournament? Do we know?
So, yeah, let's give that to the folks at home. So left in the tournament right now, we're watching Cappuccino and Kump. Mad Mats just beat Canadian Nick in our other B bracket match. LaChance and Bishop. So I believe the end of this, we're down to final 4.
Wow. That's amazing. And to give a little perspective on, again, the statistics and whatnot, we were saying that everyone has over 75 average and 81's a perfect game. I know Kump's average is a 79-1 or something like that.
Something crazy
Mad
like
Matt's
that.
also just threw a 79-1 season.
Did he? I thought he was in the 77 world. I didn't know he was
He
up.
threw, I believe, 3 seasons, in 3 leagues this last season. I think 2 around 76-ish, and then 1 79.1 season.
That's unbelievable. Cappuccino up to throw, taking his time, stretching it out, really getting in the zone before he makes this throw, because this throw really matters the most right now.
Yeah, which again is like sports performance-wise really interesting.
Yeah.
That he takes all this time to think about what he wants to do and focus, whereas Kump's the other way around. He doesn't want to think at all.
Yeah, he wants to be completely out of here. But they just tapped axes. They're calling clutches, so the bullseye game has been passed up on. Cap to throw first. Oh, just
a little
wide.
outside, which earlier Kump was the one who requested that we continue on with bull, In this one, Cappuccino requested clutches, potentially thinking, well, if Kump requested bulls earlier, maybe he's uncomfortable with his clutch.
Right.
So I'm going to request clutch.
And just to see how that can go.
Yeah. Ooh, a little outside as well.
Same spot.
Yeah.
Little magnet in the board there, pulling all the axes to that. Cap up to throw, both calling clutches. I really don't know how he does the one-handed big axe throw.
Accuracy-wise, I get it.
Really?
Consistency-wise, I do not.
Fair.
Woo! Drills it.
That was huge.
After throwing big axe, we've been here since 10 a.m. this morning.
Right.
After throwing big axe for what time? 6 hours?
Yeah. No, it's
Yeah, Kump gets it too.
almost 6 o'clock. So we're
Is
looking
it?
at 8 hours of throwing to.
Yeah, so after throwing a 2.5 pound axe for 8 hours,
Yeah.
you would imagine that your arm gets tired. But it doesn't seem.
To be- I
yeah,
mean,
he just drilled that clutch.
Yeah, to what we're seeing, it doesn't
Yeah.
seem to be affecting him, but we can't truly know what's going on in his head right
Yeah.
now. Another one. Wow. Fantastic throwing here. And Kump to match as well. Here we
Unbelievable.
go.
I hit one of these big axe clutches all day. They're hitting them every throw.
Yeah. Actually, I only hit one as well, too. I was pretty bummed. I think I went 6 or 7 rounds with Peanut for clutches.
Yeah.
And I think I missed 6 of those 7.
Jesus. Well, hey, Redbeard, we'll have our days.
Yeah. Usually pretty stoked on my big axe.
Oh, he's in again.
But it is nowhere near what these guys
Yeah.
are doing right now.
Every time I feel like I make a stride with my throw, like, oh, I figured something out. If I do this, I'll throw better.
Yeah.
Every time I feel like I do that, Kump misses. We're now tied at 3 rounds each.
Going to round 7. This is exciting.
Every time I figure something out, the entirety of the community also figures something out.
Yeah.
And I stay at the exact same
Yeah.
level of competition.
Yeah. I also just want to give a quick shout out to the Philly Space boys for bringing their whole broadcast setup down here for this stream. The camera in camera with the scoring, thanks to Kelly Moylan, and I know Will did the design for the scoring as well. This really is quite an amazing setup that we've got going on here. So thanks to those guys. And I know Kump and Willie were here last night until like 12, 1 in the morning. Yeah. Setting up the broadcast.
Yeah. Again, kind of going back to earlier about how every time I come to one of these events, it's always like a community thing. I'm here to see my friends.
Right.
In the same way, the community really steps up for these events.
Yeah.
It's not like there was some outside company hired with their broadcasting equipment.
No.
It's just the guys throwing.
Or outside broadcasters hired.
Yeah, exactly. It's us.
Yeah.
The people
that are throwing in the tournament.
Yeah. Hypothetically, if I was better at this, I might not be commentating right now because I would be throwing.
Yeah.
But again, hypothetically,
yeah.
I'm not that good.
Yeah. No, that's real. That's not a hypothetical.
Yeah.
That part though. Oh.
That's it.
That's the match.
Kump takes it.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
So Kump will move on to the B bracket finals against Mad Mats out of Guelph. And right now, we're going to cut back out, do a quick little recap for you guys. So, I just wanted to say huge thanks to, I don't know if you saw him on the lanes there for a second, but a huge thanks to Ian Bobby for coming all the way out here and, making sure he's been sort of organizing the tournament, but also He's been doing devicing on the lanes. He was here last night showing people how to make the targets properly and measuring things out and making sure it all works.
Ian Bobby's been declared final say if there's any iffy calls.
Yeah.
Every time there's something that's kind of questionable, he's the one who's getting called in to make sure that we're on the same page.
Yeah, and also, I know you might have seen one of them running through the back there, but the Rage staff today has just been incredible. They've been so on top of their board changes, their scoring, and nobody's just making a call because they're going to make a call. If they're even a little bit, they'll call for some help. They'll ask for a second opinion. It's really been a community effort to make sure that the event is the best version of what it can be.
And kind of going back to what you were saying a little bit earlier, it's not like we hired specialty coaches for this.
No.
These are just the Rage employees who are going to be here working anyway, and now they get to be involved with this tournament that maybe wasn't on their radar at all, aside from the fact that it's at their facility.
Yeah. And so this match is the one that's coming up is one that I am so excited for. If you watch the NATC, if you watched our championship for back in Toronto in February, LaChance was one of the big surprises that came out at the end of that tournament.
Ended up third place, I believe.
Third place.
Yeah. And I'll personally say that in some way influenced. Like I said, I keep picking up things for my throw.
Right.
All of a sudden, I noticed that in the beginning of my throw, I do a little bobble, kind of like he does.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I decided to do that, but it feels good, and I see why he does it. It makes my throw feel smoother.
Yeah, his routine and the setup he does and the way he gets everything set, it's just that it's almost it is to the point of obsessive, but it's such a great way to get him in the same spot every time, making the same throw every time. And I mean, LaChance this year is now the guy that everybody wants to beat.
Yeah.
He was that huge upset at NATC, kind of for a lot of people came out of nowhere, and now here we are again, A bracket finals, and he's back at it again.
And then on the other hand, Bishop, this is my first experience meeting Bishop. He's throwing out of Detroit. Also an amazing thrower.
Yeah.
This match is, I assume, going to be wild.
Yeah, and I mean, I was lucky enough to meet Bishop back at regionals last year, which we hosted at Detroit. It was a new venue. They'd only been open for 6 months at the time, and when they did that, and when they opened the venue, I felt like it was sort of a thing where it was like, okay, we're gonna take this new venue, we're gonna put the regionals there so we can show off this new space. But I remember the throwers at regionals, Bishop was one of them, and there were things that happened at the regional tournament that they had never seen before. I remember I called for a big axe clutch in my match, and Marcus Brown was like, "You do that?" And now Marcus finished, I believe, top 10 in the tournament.
Yeah, Marcus was on fire today. Knocked out a lot of big name heavy hitters. Knocked out Julio. Knocked out Stefan. He put me in the B bracket, and now I'm like,
you're massive.
I'm like godly.
Definitely.
I was named one of the greatest throwers in the world
of all time.
As per an Instagram post that was pretty generic.
Of course.
But I'll take it.
Yeah, and we're now getting into match play here. So Bishop is on your right, and we've got LaChance on your left here. And we're going to do a quick little swap here. Jimmy, I just want to say thanks for being on the broadcast.
Yeah, of course.
Really appreciate
It was
you
a
coming
pleasure.
in.
Thank you for having me. And,
No problem.
Good luck to all the throwers, and thanks for having me.
No problem. Thanks, man. And Jimmy's going to hand off the mic to my good friend Mark Davis here. Mark Davis throws in league with LaChance, and he has also been following Bishop's career since the onset. So I just wanted to get you in here to speak more to the specifics of this match.
Okay, yeah. By the way, hi.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome to. Yeah, it's awesome to be able to call a match with you. And yeah, I'm very familiar with both of these throwers. LaChance for reasons that are kind of obvious. Phil LaChance throwing out of Battle Villiers in downtown Toronto as he throws a 3 right there in his big axe. That's very un-LaChance-like, and that's the thing about Phil. Pardon me if my levels are a bit hot, but yeah, no, Phil is and Bishop matching that 3.
Wow.
It's okay. We start anew. Anyway, yeah. And what you just saw with LaChance throwing that big axe 3 is incredibly rare for him.
Oh, totally.
Phil is always perfect. And
you're not wrong.
Well, except for the last 2 throws. And I feel bad because I don't want to jinx him on the stream. But no, Phil is calculated. He makes sure that he does the same thing every single time.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about his sort of process when he's setting up and how he moves. He goes through these motions, like physical motions, moving through different positions before he throws every single time. And you can kind of see him placing that process before he throws, whereas Bishop, more an instinctive thrower, just kind of lines up and gets it off.
Yeah, and Phil is... We talk about muscle memory a lot in this sport.
Definitely.
Phil has it down. He's doing even though his axe is landing, he's doing the exact same thing every single time. Bishop, you are correct. I've known since Detroit Axe first opened a couple years ago. One of the first leaguers there, usually at the top of the standings. And the reason that I found Bishop so notable, and bear in mind this is a couple years ago, what I'm about to describe is commonplace now, is I saw Bishop and he had this devil face next to his name and axe scores, and I thought to myself, wow, you can have an emoji in axe scores? Yeah. And he has grown so much since I first started following his stats.
I think he's only been throwing for less than a year now. I believe he started end of the summer, actually.
Really?
Yeah. I know that the emoji thing is very true, and I think he might have been one of the first to start putting emojis in names.
Yeah, now it's just the most commonplace thing in the world.
Yeah.
And Detroit Axe, everybody who's competing in any open tournament this year or an NATC next year, watch out for most of the people from Detroit Axe.
The level of skill there has just shot through the roof in less time than I think people even heard about them.
Yeah.
It was like people are showing up for tournaments and just lighting people up, and it's like, oh wait, there's a venue in Detroit?
Yeah, and even Marcus Brown, who has since been knocked out of this tournament, has been on non-stop runs throughout the day. He's had some moments that kind of, were unlike him, even though he's usually precision perfect, but he recovered. And that's the thing about these Detroit Axe guys, is even when they start to miss, they recover so well.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I hadn't thought about, but I've definitely seen throughout the day, is the Detroit Axe guys, they miss like the rest of us. Sometimes they miss, but you'll see a lot of throwers when they miss, it bothers them. These guys, they miss and they'll laugh. They'll point at their friends and they'll just line up and just fresh start.
Well, even both Bishop and Marcus, the one thing that they have in common the most is how much they joke in the middle of their games.
Totally.
And that kind of helps them because they feel relaxed, they feel at ease, they feel like it's week 3 of their league. And that's the position they put themselves in, is they think of it as, you know what, this is just any other new league night. Series tied 1-1.
We're going to Big Axe. I really do hope, I know both of these guys, their Big Axe game is incredible, and I really hope that we get a a situation like at Nationals with Phil where he was going big X clutch, big X clutch, big X clutch, and it was these runs. I would really, really love to see a big X run.
Let's see if Bishop matches this. Or Phil rather. My apologies. Everybody knows him was a chance. I just know him was Phil. Ooh, rides a little line.
Low. I think we're going to go for a device call.
The old-fashioned finger device, as is is popular. It's like, I'm going to finger measure it before I actually measure it.
Yeah. I generally, if I'm walking up and I can't see which way it is before I get halfway past the red line, I just call a device right away.
Well, my own girlfriend pointed this out to me one time because she'll watch me walk up and look at things and call it 3. And it's different when you're up there.
Yeah.
And you're standing directly in front of it and looking at it. Did they just call that 3?
I think they might have called that a 3.
They did. Okay, Bishop, that puts...
Oh, no, they called it the 5. He took the ball. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
So now we're at 2 rounds for Phil, 1 for Bishop.
Bishop's joking with the commentary booth right now, and that goes back to Bishop. You're like, Phil is in his own zone. Phil doesn't joke around much. Phil will smile at you.
Yeah.
He'll look at you.
You'll get lucky if you get a glance.
Yeah. Bishop is just having the time of his life right now.
He'll write your mother a love letter on the way back from the board. I actually believe that, though. I feel like if I did get a chance to introduce Bishop to my mother, he probably would write her a letter, send her a Christmas card. He's one of the nicest guys I've ever met, and he's just so welcoming and friendly to everyone that he meets. I was lucky enough to share an Airbnb with him this weekend, and it's just been a blast.
Well, you know what? Those guys from Northern Detroit, they know how to have a good time, know how to have a good party. All right, so...
what are we looking at? No go for Phil.
Oh, so that ties it up 2-2. No, I don't think it does. By the looks of it, by what Ben's putting up on our scoreboard in front of us, it's 3-1 LaChance. Okay, Vin looks at us and he's like, I know what I'm doing.
So 3-1 LaChance. So again, sorry if we make any little mistakes on what we're commenting on the boards. We are about 3-4 feet away from the side of the board, but also pretty much in line with the wall. So we don't have the best vantage point for seeing the edges of those scoreboards.
Phil LaChance made a name for himself this past NATC as he waves at me because he knows I'm talking about him. No, Phil has always been a great thrower. But this year's NATC, he had one of the best nights of his life as a thrower and as his own enjoyment. Mm-hmm. And I think it was Matt Wilson himself who said, LaChance, you'll never fly under the radar again.
Yeah.
And he's not.
No.
I used to enjoy throwing against him. I don't enjoy it anymore.
Yeah. Well, actually, I was in league with you and Phil leading up to Nationals. And then the week before Nationals, when we were doing our regular league night, me and Phil had a game that went to Big X, and we went to clutches. We both hit the first one, we both missed the second, both hit the third, and at some point I think we did 5 or 6 rounds of Big X, and then it ended, Phil won, and I was like, wow, I'm as good as Phil.
Yeah.
And then NATC happened that weekend, and I was like, wow, I am such an idiot.
Phil LaChance bowling into Big X tiebreaker right now. Showing a little bit of emotion. That's rare for him. Normally he's in his zone, focused on his target.
I think Nico's a little infectious. He's just so fun to be around.
Yeah, you can't help but interact when he starts to interact with you. Marcus Brown's the same way. Here we go. We're going clutches. If Phil takes this series, takes this match, he takes this series, I believe.
Yes.
We're in best of 7 play right now.
We are in best of 7 play right now, and the loser of this match will move down to play the winner of Comp Mad Mats.
This has been a weird day in this entire bracket in general. Strange things have happened.
Yeah. I think for a lot of people, Matt's was kind of a dark horse in this one.
Well, a lot of because this whole bracket was seeded by average.
Right.
A lot of top tier throwers have first round buys, and I get the feeling that kind of froze them out after practice because we had a lot of great throwers that were just in B early.
Yeah.
But that's seeding by average for you, and that's
what you asked for, folks.
It's a 48 person bracket.
Yeah.
It's you got some waiting to do, and yeah, some people kind of accepted that they were frozen out by having to wait so long, but other people also believe that, you know what, if you're a great enough thrower, you could go 5 hours and then throw a 27.
Well, I mean,
on the cup.
So if I'm going back through the bracket, I believe the people that are left now were all people that got those buys.
Really?
So as much as that did feel real in the first portion of the tournament, and I'm sure they probably felt it in their early matches, it is true that these top throwers will kind of overcome those little hiccups and come back in full force. It's hard to beat somebody that's so consistent.
Phil, a chance shooting high. This is a chance for Bishop to get some momentum. Let's see how this goes. Oh, shoots a bit low.
So we go again.
One thing I've been seeing all day here is cold steals and ag doors.
Yeah.
And we're having ag door on ag door violence right now.
Yeah, it's actually been
just wide left. Wow.
So this is a here we go. It's the chance to pick up a round here.
I believe that Bishop's is cut.
He does. He cuts off the bottom and he takes that nub off because he wants it to kind of float out of his hand a little bit more.
Whereas Phil has it full length.
Oh, did that fall in?
That fell
Wow.
in. Gravity with the assist. Sir Isaac Newton.
So
that makes it 3-2 in a best of 7 series for Phil Chance right now. That's a big momentum shift for Bishop.
Wait, what's going on over here? Are they putting away their stuff?
What is happening right now? Is this best of... What happened here?
No, it's best of 7, and I think Bishop just...
Oh. Okay.
I'm sorry about that, folks. We had a bit of a scoring lapse over here. Huh? Did we have a bit of a scoring lapse?
Oh, we did. Okay.
And Phil Lachance loses the match and moves down to B bracket, but Bishop, our young rookie in this tournament, this is the first major tournament. I believe he was at Nationals, but this is the first of the tournament circuit that he's been able to come out to.
This is huge for Bishop. This is huge for the Detroit Axe venue in general, making their mark in this federation, in this tournament. That's just insane.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. I mean,
you're on. Don't worry.
Yeah, we're cutting now to B bracket final 1.
That would be the case, I believe. Yep, Mad Mats and Kump. The B bracket final, indeed. Either way, that is amazing. For, like, I guarantee a lot of people had names in mind today of people they thought would make it to finals or even, like, take this whole thing. And this is not a dish on Bishop, but I feel like he's surprising and impressing a lot of people today.
Yeah, I don't think there's... I think there's a couple of people in the building, like Marcus Brown, definitely one of them, who believed in Bishop from the start. I mean, I definitely thought he was going to do well. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't think he was going to do this well.
So we're moving on to Mad Mats. I
think it's just Matt's.
Okay, and Mike Kump. So shall I pass it over to our colleague Jimmy?
Yeah, we're going to take it back to Jimmy, and we're going to do a quick little swap here. But Mark Davis, thank you for joining me. This was fantastic to have you. I've wanted to have you on a broadcast for a while, so this was really awesome.
Not a problem, man. If you ever want me back, you know who to call.
I definitely will call you. We're going to bring Jimmy back on to do some coverage again. So, Jimmy, I just want to get a little... You had said earlier that you actually got a chance to play Mats.
Yeah, Mats was my first round match in at the NATC.
Yeah.
In February.
Okay.
So a pretty cool accolade that I have right now is that I'm undefeated against both Mike Kump and Mad Mats.
Wow.
Yeah, which I don't know if there's...
remember that thing we talked about earlier with you being the greatest living thrower. Obviously, your record speaks that truth.
When I played Kump, it was when he was like in his first season, and I smoked him.
Yeah.
So
just
that counts.
Lit him up.
Yeah, and then when I was playing Matt at Nationals, he threw. We both threw perfect hatchet all the way through, and traded rounds, and I got lucky on Big X.
Nice. I feel like at this point in his career, he maybe took some inspiration from that and is like, that's never going to happen again.
Yeah. He losing to me was probably pretty embarrassing because wow, I'm bad at this. Really interesting match for me to watch right now. I know Kump personally and get to see him through all the time.
I would say the hometown favorite, but I don't know if any of you actually root for him.
Literally, none of us wanted him to do well in this.
Yeah.
Of all the Philly people who are here, we each wanted ourselves to win, and then once that didn't happen, we were probably rooting for Uncle Willie.
Yeah.
Who had an outstanding showing again today, just didn't happen to make it through. But now here we are, and Kump's throwing, and it's breaking all of our hearts.
Yeah. I mean, you guys must have broken hearts a lot down in Philly.
Yeah, it's throwing against Kump's gives a pretty specific feeling. At times it's felt disheartening because he's so good at this, and he's still relatively new to the sport. Like I said earlier, only been doing this for a little bit of time.
But he came from a bowling background,
yes,
I believe.
He actually has a bowling tournament or championship tomorrow. So he's going right from axe throwing tournament to bowling tournament.
And that's back in Philly tomorrow?
Yep, back in Philly. We're starting our drive around 9 a.m., hoping to be back in time.
Wow. Okay. Oh, so you guys are staying for another night?
Yeah, here one more night.
I know a lot of the Americans that are here where you guys don't get the long weekend like the Canadians do.
No, we don't. I just gave up on all my responsibilities for tomorrow.
Yeah. Left the kids at home.
Yeah,
they can feed themselves.
Yeah, which is wild because I don't have kids. I just found kids. I was like, you have to stay here.
Yeah.
Kump uncharacteristically missing a clutch.
So Mats picks up a round there.
So I think that's 1-1.
Yeah, I think we're tied at 1 there. We had a really unfortunate scoring incident earlier where the rounds were miscalculated, and we thought Philippe was up 3-1,
right?
And then everyone started cheering for Bishop, and we were like, I guess we mixed up the rounds here.
We did an oops.
Yeah. So we're gonna try and make sure that we don't do that again. And there we go, fixing the scores right now, 1-1.
Yeah, we did do the thing we said we wouldn't do.
Business as usual, back to both sides.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, like I was saying, really interesting match. I have perspective against throwing against both of these guys, and each time there's always a lot of pressure. They don't miss. Generally speaking, they don't. It's so uncharacteristic.
Well, I wanted to sort of talk to the different practice situations that both of them have. Mike Kump being one of the, I would say, leaders of the Philly practice space.
Right.
But then Mad Mats has a target in his backyard.
Right.
He hand forges his own axes.
Right. Which are beautiful, by the way.
They throw so nice.
Yes.
He let some of us test them yesterday. It is actually like a really, you wouldn't think that just like a little bit different hatchet would do that much, but it's really incredible.
And then I was speaking to him earlier about purchasing one, and he sells them. He was willing to work with me on like my specs that I wanted.
Nice.
So if you're in the market for an axe and you want it hand forged by someone who's really good at this, reach out to Mad Max.
Yeah, and I mean, so he really is like living and breathing the sport. He's making his tools at his home.
Right.
He has a target in his backyard. I believe he also has an indoor target as well for when the rain and the snow comes around.
Wild.
But I mean, it pays off, right?
Yeah,
Here we
course.
are.
We all throw in leagues and whatnot, but there's only so many reps you can get in a league season.
Totally.
So that outside practice and going to whatever venue or area you have to get your extra reps in, that's what's going to separate people from going 0-2 and being in the Final Four, placing for money.
Yeah. Here we go. And we both hit. Those are just dead center.
Yeah.
So remember, folks, we are going directly to points here. This is NATC rules. We're going to line up whatever the points we hit or the points we get. There is no breaking paint like we have in league nights, because if there was, we would probably be here until tomorrow afternoon. So we're doing a quick little device call here. Jimmy, if you could speak to the devicing situation and why we have that going on here when in some other axe throwing competitions you might not see device calls.
So the way the NATF works, the National Axe Throwing Federation works, it's got to be majority rules. So the majority of the embedded blade has to be embedded in the wood. And wherever the majority is, that's the point value you get. So, and paint counts in your favor. So when it gets to these throws where it looks like it could be a little bit in, a little bit out, or 50-50, we have to really make sure that we're getting the right measurement on it, because we want to make sure that it's 51% to 49% minimum. Earlier, Ian Bobby was making a call that was coming down to, he said it was literally 1 millimeter between good or bad, which is wild that throws can be that precise and that clean.
Yeah, and I'm like, also I think when you're watching it on TV or something, these bullseyes can look like, it's a pretty big bullseye, but you got to remember that we're not just nicking that bullseye.
Yeah.
You gotta get the axe inside that thing.
Yeah, and for the people who do this so frequently, generally we have an understanding of what our axe looks like in the board, and where that leaves us and stuff like that. So there's some calls where we can tell it's close, but it's a 3, or it's close, but it's a bull.
Definitely.
But so when we get a measurement for these, it's pretty close.
Yeah.
We're not measuring frivolously. Some people feel like it messes with their pace and it messes with the flow and stuff like that. So we just want to make sure that we're not measuring for no reason. We're measuring because we need these points.
I mean, in some cases, and I've said this on a couple other broadcasts in the past, if something is a little iffy, but even if I can tell it's say I'm throwing for a bullseye and I hit a 3 and I look at the side of it and I'm like, it's probably a 3.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll call a device call, even though I'm 99% sure it's going to be a 3, just so I can have a bit of a break.
Sure.
Get back in my headspace, get a little bit of a break from the board. We're currently doing the famous finger device.
Yeah.
Take a break. Device it.
But this might be a thing where
Kump calling it a 3.
Kump wants to keep the pace, why mess around with the device right now if it's, probably a 3. which I don't think I've seen him throw a 3 all day.
That's probably the first 3 comes thrown all day. That's my guess.
Yeah.
They're very uncharacteristic of him. Again, with an average like 79, whatever.
Yeah.
Accidents don't happen. Or they're only accidents,
Right,
I guess.
right. You're okay. So Mad Matt's up by 2, throwing for clutch.
Clean.
Smokes it, and we're going to round 7.
Wild. Winner of this round moves on.
The winner of this round moves on, and the loser is actually eliminated.
Yeah. So winner of this round moves on to play
LaChance.
LaChance.
And then
which
the
would be
winner of LaChance and the winner of this match, whoever wins that match, would then play Bishop in the finals.
Yeah, finals.
Mad Matt's out here making Riot Axe proud. This is a pretty cool moment, as Riot Axe, one of the central regional venues. I'm personally from the central region myself, so I feel a little tied to Matt's on this one. We had a Big Axe tournament in. Are we going clutches here?
They hit him.
Both hit him, so we're going to Big Axe. So
this Big Axe will decide
the match. But we had a little Big Axe tournament in Hamilton, and Mad Matt's came out, and I was lucky enough to make it to the finals against him.
Wonderful.
And won a couple of rounds and lost the whole thing.
Yeah, Matt, like I said, when I played him at the NATC, we threw perfect hatchets and then swapped on Big Axes.
Beautiful bullseye for comp there.
Round 1, I threw a 1. Round 2, he threw a 3 and I hit a bull. Round 3, I hit a bull, he hit a 3. It's who's going to make their mistake first.
Yeah.
There are only so many mistakes that these guys make.
And this is
clean.
Another bull. So, clutches are active.
Yep, we're calling
going
it.
For clutch. Comp to throw first. I love the way that the sound of the room falls off.
Yeah.
As like these big axe moments kind of like come in, everybody sort of just shuts the hell up for a second.
A little low.
Just low. So Matt can take it here if he's able to hit this clutch.
That's it.
Oh, and he does it.
That's it.
Wow. And that was unbelievable. Wow.
A lot going on.
Mad Matt's moves on to the B bracket finals. One of the coolest things about the axe throwing community here is the support that the throwers have for each other. As soon as that axe went in the board, I think the most excited person in the room was Mike Kump.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Mike has such a spirit about it, and like he's such a good sport, and he likes that. The whole thing's about having fun for him. He's not often putting himself in situations where he's taking it too seriously, or he needs to take it too seriously, even when there's a $3,000 prize pool involved.
Yeah, that's really the thing that I really hope that everybody gets to experience in some form in their life, maybe not even in axe throwing, is the kind of camaraderie and support that this community has for each other. I really, I can't speak to bowling, but maybe Mike gets that in bowling as well, and maybe that's where his excitement comes from. And
then as far as our winner goes, Matt, like I said, I threw against him once, but like for the rest of the day, I was rooting for him. I was a fan of his, and now I came here and I'm. Mike's my hometown friend, but now I'm rooting for Matt because he's my boy.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
I mean, I'm a little biased. I'm close friends with Nico, and Bishop's going to be my guy through the whole thing. But I am super excited that we have, at the very least, one person from the Central region in the finals. If Mats can pull it off, we're going to have two. And I mean, the Central region, we've felt has been a little overlooked in the past because it is a lot of new venues.
Yeah,
it's kind of one of our expansion locations, and now having these Central regional throwers coming up and placing really high in these tournaments, it's a proud moment for a lot of us.
It's cool to see the sport move west. In the States, at least. It started off in Philly, East Coast, and then Jersey, and now it's just keeps moving to the west, and so it's cool to see these central regions. Now it's all the way out in LA. And, it's really amazing to see how the sport's growing.
And I mean, even in Canada, we started with the Toronto locations. I know that it expanded out to London and Kitchener, but Ottawa was a big push, and then all of the NITF growth into the east. It really is nice to see that the Central region is growing and is here in full force. But to speak to this next match, I'm going to bring in Maria, who is one of the local throwers here in Montreal, and she's going to come on and help us out with some of the broadcasts here. But Jimmy, thanks for coming in again, man.
Thanks for having me again.
Yeah. So, welcome, Maria. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. It's all exciting.
Yeah.
And very stressful, even though I'm not the one throwing.
Yeah. It's fun though. This is the fun stuff, right?
It is.
Yeah! Let's go, man!
Okay. So we're currently on Big Axe of our first round. Matt just hit his bullseye to hopefully activate his Big Axe clutch. If Phil can hit the bullseye here, we're gonna. Or are we on to? He is aiming a little. Oh, so we are on clutches, and Phil Lachance misses the first one. Mad Max up to follow here, but Maria, since we're in the earlier rounds here, let's chat a little bit about your weekend and how it's been to have all of these crazy axe throwers in your hometown.
It's amazing. We're actually very excited, and I was saying no.
Oh, no good.
The crowd goes wild because that's a close call. But it's very exciting to have everyone here because I kept saying that first person to go to like a big gathering of axe throwers in our community was Max Machado.
Right.
He went to NATC last year, and he came back so pumped.
Yeah,
and
he said that was like one of the big driving points.
Oh yeah, like he came in and he talked so much about it that I was like, okay, you know what? I'm sold. I'm going next year, and I did.
Nice.
Yeah, and it was amazing. It was an awesome experience, and I totally got why he came back this way. So when it actually happened for us from Montreal, I was like, oh my God, this is so amazing for the community to see all the people that, share your passion.
Yeah.
And to see all the level of throwing that you can actually achieve.
Right. And I mean, that was something that I was talking to earlier in the stream. This is the first tournament of its kind in all of Quebec. But
yes,
Montreal is the first place to host an axe throwing tournament.
And it's amazing because I think that we have, I see a lot of potential in a lot of us who are throwing. And I think that it's so great that we can see these real people that are no longer just names.
Yeah.
And we can see what they do. But also for me, it was very important to go to NATC and see that, all the star names are also, human beings who do drop or miss or whatever.
Right.
And it kind of lifted me up. I feel that it works both ways.
Yeah.
You see how tense it is for everyone. Oh my God.
Wow.
Speaking of tense.
Wow. So after all of those Big X rounds, Phil hits the clutch, and Mats is a little high on that one. I think he might have actually blown through the clutch. His blade hit it, but it passed through, and it wasn't good on that one. But I think I want to say a big thanks to you as a representative for the Montreal community, but also just to the people of Montreal in general. You've been incredible hosts. You've all been so lovely to all of us, so thank you so much.
We were very, excited and anxious at the same time because it's the first time, and it's important to represent well enough so it happens again, and people are, and that's why I was very happy that it's like long weekend and the weather is nicer and people get to I was talking to people around and people got to see Montreal a little.
That was a really cool part too, is like it's one thing to, I find when I go to these tournaments, I get a little mini vacation. But
that's true.
The best part of these little mini vacations is you get shown around town by locals that are already your friends.
That's true. That's a very good point. Where it's just like, oh, hey, we're into beers. Tell us the beers, and you don't have to. You have the community in here that you can rely on.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Mats hits his clutch there. Fill to match. And he does. So we're going to Big X again.
And for me, this tournament is kind of okay. I'm following like some people, but not many people.
Sure.
And for me, it's in a way right now where I'm just like, for instance, I just Mats just like today or yesterday.
Yeah.
And now I'm very excited because I was like, oh yay, look, it's not one of the names that I know, and I get to see him
and
all the way here. But he apparently like Riot. I was looking up Riot the other day, and then I think he took in November one of the leagues, and then in March 2 of the leagues.
Yeah.
And,
he's definitely their all-star out there.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, no, that makes sense.
But, I mean, these finals, we're now down to LaChance, Mad Mats, and Bishop, who, as of 2019, are all new faces in the sport. Some of them have been around a little longer, but these were not people that at last year's NATC or in the tournament circuit last year, or even really in NATC this year, that anybody really knew, other than LaChance with the big finish at NATC. These are all relatively, new people to be showing up at these tournaments.
Which is one of the things that I'm telling to people who are axe throwing is relatively new as
of course,
a thing, and I get a lot of questions from people who are like, oh, but should I join? We all get those, and like, but then there are all the people who are already good at it, and it's like, what, we just have people who just come in and they're great, and then there are people who come in and they progress and then they're great, and you never know who you are in this scheme of things. And since it's new, they don't get all this head start of, years and years.
Right.
So you totally should try. And I mean, what worse can happen?
Whether you get pretty good, whether you get incredible, or whether you just have fun, I think axe throwing in general is something that everybody should give a try, because the community is incredible. The sport's a whole lot of fun. I always say it's just like darts, but a little bit better. And everybody loves darts, right?
That's true. I was just I'm laughing because I just had this conversation about, it's like darts. I was like, it is. So, it's just a sharper object.
Yeah.
Nice. But and that's why I'm saying, like, hey, here's we're in this situation with Max where he just appeared, out of thin air, and he was good right away, and that happens, and then we have people who are progressing.
Well, I think there's a really interesting thing that happens when one thrower from a relatively new venue figures it out. And then once they figure it out, they go to the tournaments, they meet with everybody else, and they have all this new information. They kind of disseminate it into their local community, and they convince all these other people, just try it like this, do it like that, come to this event, and it really helps take it from being just an axe throwing venue all by itself to being a real community.
Yes, I agree that it absolutely worked this way for Rage.
Yeah,
it did. Like I'm giving shout out to Max for that, because he took time and effort in figuring things out, and now we're that's exactly what's happening for us. We have, yes, there are different techniques,
Yeah.
but kind of we figured out what you're aiming for, and
Right.
then more people with more differences in technique have their input now, where he just try this or try that.
Right.
You have more attempts, more ways, more different ways of like dealing with. Oh, I throw hard, like harder. Someone throws more powerful, less powerful. We have like I'd say. Well, yeah, people throw both-handed, one-handed, and it's
Right.
different. So the more we have the spread of this, the better it gets, for
And,
sure.
and you were in the tournament today yourself as well, right?
I was.
How did you do?
I followed my plan. I planned on going in and losing my 2 games and start drinking.
Yeah, I planned the same, and I also did the same.
There we go.
Yeah.
No, but I personally think that it's it's a lot of pressure.
Definitely.
And like I know myself, and I prefer to have a fun day out of it.
Yeah.
And that was the same for me for NATC because I was just like, you know what, I actually would prefer to not get in.
Yeah.
Because I'll be stressed out so much.
Well, something that I've always thought is like, I definitely come to these things not thinking that I'll do well because I'm not there yet. But I also know that the people that are coming to these things expecting to do well because they are incredible throwers, even in the case that they lose early, that they go 0 wins, 2 losses, they're right out of the tournament, they're still here cheering for everybody, having a good time. They're here all weekend, hanging out with everybody. Like it's not just show up, play your games, get out.
Yeah, exactly. And the funny thing is that I was telling earlier in the day to someone how people are apologizing for winning to each other.
Yeah.
And it's a real thing. I think people are like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I won." I was like, "You do not have to be sorry.
Yeah.
You did well. Great job." But no, well, I mean, that's a part of how community is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And this is what also is great about it, I guess.
Phil to throw his big axe here. Oh, a wobbly 3
And
there.
a 3. A wobbly
Wow,
3.
very uncharacteristic for Phil. So Mad Max to hit a bullseye here to take the round. Oh no, we both hit a 3 in the first one, and Matt hits a 3 again. Whoa. Phil with a chance to take this round here. If Phil takes this round, he will be up 3 rounds to 1. And he does it.
Nice. Very nice.
Also, I've really enjoyed some of the folks that have been here this weekend that have traditionally French names, and hearing how their names are actually supposed to be pronounced.
I think Cadieu will be one of them.
Yeah. So I actually went on his first match. Everybody in Philly calls him Cadieu. Okay. And he walked up to his first match, and the announcer said, "Can you say his name again for me?"
Cadieu.
Okay, so he said it like that, and I leaned over to him and I was like, "Is it weird hearing your name right for the first time in your life?" And he was like, "Yeah, it was really nice, actually."
That's funny. So yeah, I think La Chance is the same.
Yeah,
way.
La Chance is the same, but he actually is French Canadian and and has that history where he was telling me when he watched back the NATC broadcast, he was like, "Oh my God, my name was pronounced wrong so many times." So I always try to say La Chance, which I know is still not great, but it's a lot better than La Chance, you know?
Yes, I agree.
But he is known as La Chance in Toronto, and that's just what people call him. But
that's it. That's all.
It definitely burns him a little bit inside. I know that for sure.
But yeah, so I hope we'll have more tournaments.
Yeah, in Montreal, just for the name justice. Yeah,
exactly.
Clutches for both. We're going to Big X again.
But yeah, it's very exciting. I can say right away I think for the community, this is I'm just so happy.
Yeah.
Because we had several people dropping in from the league just to see how it goes.
Yeah.
And it just fills my heart with joy.
Well, during the team tournament yesterday, I was talking to one of the staff members before the team tournament started, and we were
oh my God, there was
an uncharacteristic drop for Phil. But right before the team tournament started, I was talking to somebody, and there was walk-ins going on for regular league members.
Yes.
And he was like, a lot of the people that are here like know that there's an event going on today, but I don't think they really realize what they're about to see.
That's very true, because we come in as league members, right? We train, and there's a lot of this. Well, of course, they have to tell you no trick shots, no stupid stuff, and stay alive.
Yeah. That's always the first goal.
And I was practicing for doubles at a certain point, and one of the guys was doing the whole speech, and I was throwing doubles next to them, and then he just looks and turns and looks at me, looks at them, and says, "She is a league member and like semi-professional or professional, or I don't know how to call them, but don't look at her.
Yeah."
She can do it.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think that's very exciting, because when you see people not only, well, I don't want to say struggling, but figuring it out.
Yeah.
Like you come in, you start to figure it
You're
out.
learning.
You just saw it for the first time, but then you can see what you can get to.
Yeah. What you can accomplish.
And like one of my friends, she joined the league just like that. She came in, she's like, I liked it. I myself joined the league this way. We came in for a team building, and I liked it. Okay, we're
27s. We're going to Big X. If Phil can win this Big X round, he will move on to the finals against Bishop. But if Mats wins this round, we'll go one more round in our best of 7 round here.
I have to say, I did not expect this will be the finals.
No.
Like, not at all.
I don't know if anyone did. I feel like there was a few people that were like, Phil's going to go pretty far, but, I mean, especially for Nico from Detroit.
I know.
He's been incredible today.
It's all his unicorn Penelope.
Yes. I'm glad someone mentioned that on the stream. He showed, we're sharing an Airbnb together, and he showed me it earlier in the weekend. He's like, it's a little unicorn that's a stress ball. And
it's so great. And,
Nice.
Phil
moves on. So our finals
this was
match.
very, very stressful.
Yeah.
There was the wobbly 3 and the drop, and we're ooh.
Wow. So and I don't know if you guys could see in the lanes there, but the first person to hug the folks that were coming out of the lanes was Bishop. This is like the guy you're about to compete against, and he's so happy at how the game just went. He's so excited to play again. It really is an incredible thing to see, like the camaraderie and the friendship that's been, even for some of these people, created this weekend. Is just amazing.
Yeah, but I think that there are people who are just met in person for the first time in their lives, and they're still. I was laughing because I was doing some streams on like Facebook earlier, and I was going down the stairs, and all the 3 matches were over, and the people were just hugging, and I was like, okay, I'm just taking the video of people hugging.
Yeah.
As I'm progressing from lane 1, first, second, and third, people are just hugging. But no, that's great. As I'm saying, people are not smug about it or anything.
No, not at all.
And I find that it's particularly great about axe throwing that is perceived as like macho
which is
activity, and it's so not. That's why I always encourage, I always support women in axe throwing, and like all female throwers, all female identifying throwers should come in, and it's so absolutely awesome as an experience, as a community.
I've also really loved the push this year, especially for more inclusive tournaments and events, and I know that there's a lot of venues that are now doing like LGBT nights and stuff at their venues. It's just such an incredible thing to kind of, I think, fight the stigma that axe throwing is this macho thing when it really isn't.
It isn't. It's like one of the most inclusive spaces that I can think of,
Yeah.
because you just come in, you throw your thing, and you either do it or you don't, and then
Yeah.
everyone feels you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
We actually our Hamilton League. There's a event in Hamilton, and on the Monday nights once a month. On Monday nights, there's a drag night that starts right after our league night, and we all go together. And there's a lot of people who, when they join the Monday League, and we're like, oh, we're all going to drag night. Are you going to come? And they're sort of like, that's like a regular thing, and it's like, yeah, of course.
Of course it is.
And then they go and they have a blast, and it's so great to like consistently be, building up these communities and showing people that not only are we inclusive in our spaces, but we're trying our best to be inclusive in our communities outside of axe throwing as well.
Absolutely, and like, hey, we're in the gay village, like right here.
Right.
So yeah, it's absolutely. It has nothing to do with anything. You just come in and you throw, and that's all cool.
Yeah.
And if you're lucky, as Bishop is, you have Penelope to support you through through things. But why I think it came up yesterday, I was wearing a T-shirt. Very nice. T-shirt with dubbing unicorn, and Bishop came over to me and says, "Look what I have."
Yeah, and he showed you Penelope.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
But that's so I was talking to Ken and Emmy from Peterborough, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
They were saying that the unicorn, the 27, calling it unicorn.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, you do that too in here?" It was like, "Yes, we do."
Yeah. Did you talk to Ken and Amy about their youth league out there in Peterborough?
No.
So they actually are the first venue that has a youth league.
Oh, that's so awesome.
And they brought both of their sons here, and their one son Felix is one of their champions.
Nice.
He's thrown multiple 27s.
Look at that.
I believe he's like he's 12 years old or younger. I forget his age right now, but he's a child, and he is an incredible axe thrower. And they have this incredible community out in Peterborough, where they're not only including people from all different communities, they're including children now.
No, that's great. It's actually a great argument for me to bring up with people who are like, oh, can I do it?
Yeah.
Like, hey, Felix can, you can.
Yeah,
there
exactly.
we go. I'll tell the
And
guys
Felix can
that
do it well.
Okay, well, we won't bring it up right away. But no, but it's actually a lot of people are coming up with this. I'm not sure but it's an axe. What if I drop it on my head or my toes or this or that?
I'm old and I don't know if I'm strong enough. And
Yes,
it's like,
yes.
No, this
I was
is,
just like, you know what? Come in, try, and you won't die. I haven't seen anything out of ordinary.
No.
I myself in like 2 or 2.5 years of axe throwing,
Right.
I had more. I do yoga as well,
Yeah.
so I had more injuries there.
yeah. So
That
if
I
you're
had-
willing to do yoga, know that axe throwing is safer than yoga.
Yes, in case of here, in Maria's case, it is.
Yeah.
So it's I think it's just a prejudice of a kind that it will definitely be something traumatic. It's not.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this people are good.
It's just so crazy to watch these people perform. And I know I say this a lot, and I get a lot of guff for saying this on my YouTube show or on broadcast, but these two guys are two of the nicest people in axe throwing. They're both so kind and just so wonderful, and I couldn't be happier that this is our finals match here tonight.
Oh my God.
And a huge bullseye for Phil. As he poses for a photo with the photographers in the side lanes here.
No, this is very exciting. Like as you were saying, people are still hanging out here. This is a very nice bullseye too. People are hanging out here and cheering, and at a certain point, I was telling earlier that there were rage people in the tournaments with in the games with my teammates from yesterday brawl, and I was like, I don't know anymore whom to cheer for.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm done. I just
a room
want
full of friends.
Yeah, I want everyone to win.
Wow.
Nice.
Beautiful Big X clutch. And the person who's cheering the most is Nico, who is trying to beat Phil.
No, I find that it's like you just understand like this feeling.
Yeah.
And it's the same when you're like the clutch is missed by an inch and you're Oh my god. See, this is heartbreaking.
Yeah. So right now, this is for the folks at home. This is a double elimination tournament. So the way that the double elimination works is you have to lose twice throughout the course of the tournament in order to be eliminated. So right now, this is our finals match, and earlier in the evening, Philippe lost at some point. I can definitely look up who he lost to and let you guys know, but it's a big bracket and it'll be a little hard to find.
Just take Matt's word for it.
Yeah, he lost at some point. Oh yeah, he lost in the last match to he lost to he lost to Bishop.
Oh. Oh.
So this is a bit of a little grudge match here.
Oh.
So in order
and
to
still they're cheering for each other.
Yes.
We're kind of, redefining grudge.
Yeah. So, but the way that the double elimination tournament works is since Phil has lost earlier in the tournament, he needs to win a best of 7 once, and then we will start the whole thing over again, and he has to win again because then they have both lost once.
Yeah.
If Bishop wins here, he wins the whole thing because Phil would have lost twice. Phil is then eliminated, but if Phil wins, we go all over again.
And I mean, absolutely no pressure.
Yeah, no pressure at all.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's throwing like there's no pressure, that's for sure.
No, but I was just saying that, speaking of pressure, I was just saying that it was so much more, I was so much more anxious about yesterday, which
The
was
team tournament.
Because it's a team.
Yeah.
And here, if you don't do well, it's just you.
Yeah, you're not letting anyone down.
Yeah, exactly. And I swear, at a certain point, I think at Baker's, I was just like, oh my god, I have to hit the bullseye. Just Maria, just concentrate and hit the bullseye,
Right.
and be done.
Yeah.
And that's it. And I did it, and I was like, "Ooh, yay!"
Well,
but here you're like, "Okay, it's just me." It's and it's funny, and I think that it was similar to what they were talking about, like Team Canada and Team USA.
Yeah, that was
and
the original team tournament. Yeah,
and I totally felt what they meant when I was talking to the guys back in February, and they were like, "Oh my God, we were so nervous about that, but maybe more than the actual tournament."
Well, I think the team tournament's a really wonderful way to open these major tournaments, and I hope that they do keep organizing them because it really does take a lot of the stress out. Like your kind of first throw jitters, you feel out the venue, you get to throw a little bit with your friends.
You meet people like that.
You're not walking into a tournament, for the warm-ups and just being like, oh, I don't even know where the sign-in desk is.
Yeah,
like,
who are you people? And where are the targets? Where's everything? No, absolutely. I think I personally felt that it was great success with Brawl, and I was saying that even preparation for it was so much fun as the event itself because we had this little chat rooms for a little
we all had group chats for our teams
and you got to know and then you come in and you kind of already know at least 7 people on your team plus people from your venue, so you feel more you feel less that it's like the group of people.
Oh, just high for Phil there. Nico can pick up around here if he's able to hit this clutch.
And there will be moments when the crowd just goes so quiet, and you're like,
oh, and a tough drop. We're gonna go to clutch again. Do over.
I don't know how they do this.
Oh, that was Nico was throwing first there.
Oh my god. This moment when you're just walking to this, questionable clutch or heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I'm just like, is it not? Is it?
Yeah.
Is it not? That's what I was like. That's what I mean by you understand exactly how the person you're throwing against feels when this happens.
Wow. Okay, so Phil has to hit this clutch here to stay alive. Nico has hit his clutch. If Phil can match, we'll go another round. If he does not, then Nico picks up his first round of the match. By the way, Nico is Bishop on your scoreboard. That's his axe throwing name, but his real name is Nico. Phil a little high there, and Nico picks up a round. So we've got 2 rounds to 1 for Nico. Remember, Phil is coming out of the B bracket, so he needs to win 2 matches in order to take this championship today. And we are playing for some real cash today. I believe it's a $3,000 prize pool.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But as I was saying, we're not here for money. We're here for hugging.
I mean, we are here for hugging, but...
But the money...
Yeah, a few of
money's
my
good
friends
too.
might buy me dinner later tonight, so...
Oh, okay. Okay, I see where you're coming from. Yep.
We all agreed before we went our separate ways that we would go to like a proper French bistro and like have a nice little, axe throwing family dinner before we drove back to our hometowns.
That's a very good idea.
And if one of my friends wins thousands of dollars tonight,
that will be so much better. Yeah. I can see that. And I'm just I'm planning on doing nothing, and then on Tuesday we have the league start.
Oh wow.
And I'm going to go in, and today I had my first 2 matches at 27s, and I was like 81. Here I come.
Nice. You're on the hunt. I love it.
Yeah. So I'm very excited for Tuesday.
So are you throwing in one season, one league at a time?
Well, the thing is that we changed a little bit for Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
So we have 2 locations, right?
Yeah.
So
right. I forgot to mention that you did recently open a second location in the South Shore of Montreal.
Yes, which is we find it's so much better for people who live there.
Right.
Because
they don't have to come all the way out here.
Exactly. And especially because like the Tuesday league for us in the evening, so it's less logistics. So so we have 2 locations, and we have I think they finished in the beginning of May. They finished their first league, and I believe that it was a success for them, which we're very happy for. Mm-hmm. So they're continuing with that.
Do you have people playing in both leagues?
I believe at least Max and Bear playing both.
Okay.
But yeah, as I said, like it's logistics not only for them to come here, but also for us to go there.
Yeah, totally.
And for people from who are not in Montreal, that involves like bridges, and Montreal is an island, and there is a bridges crossing and whatnot. So
South
we
Shore
have,
is off of the island?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're on
I
the
don't know
island.
the geography of
Yeah,
Montreal,
so we're on this like big island,
Right.
and South Shore is the other side of the...
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the mainland point.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope.
I'm going to take your word for it. You
I'm
seem
also
like a genuine person. I wouldn't think you'd lie to me.
I not knowingly, I can guarantee you this. But yeah, so it's... So they have their league starting, which we're excited for, and we ourselves in Montreal downtown location are now running 2 leagues. We're super excited as of this season.
So is it 2 on the same night or 2 separate nights?
No, there will be 2 separate ones. We're continuing with our regular Tuesday league.
Oh,
that was a great clutch.
Nico hits the clutch. Wow.
Nice, very nice. So we'll continue with our regular Tuesday league, and we're opening another one on Sunday.
Nice. The Sunday leagues are a lot of fun. I feel like it's a nice way to spend your Sunday evening.
Yeah, and we're doing it more like afternoonish.
Yeah, nice.
And I find that it's great.
Yeah.
So I'm joining. I was like, but summer, Sunday on summer. I was like, you know what? I'll do it anyway.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Whom
8
are we
weeks,
kidding?
right? Like, you can try it out, and if it doesn't work out,
there was a
tough 3 for Phil. We're trying. Whenever we're calling out those like tough 3s and stuff, we try to keep it a little quiet because we are about 6 feet from Phil's ear. So
yes. So we don't want to.
So that's why we have
those people.
That's why we have microphones right in front of our faces instead of like a boom mic over us, just having a regular conversation. We're talking quite softly.
We're really trying here. No, but it's true. Like it's people are in the zone. People are in their space. It's important to not get them.
I actually,
and there's a lot of cheering and noise around.
Well, earlier in a match, I was watching a match and someone was about to throw, and someone in the audience yelled that person's name while they were in their backswing, which, in my opinion, is kind of bad form. And
I agree.
but after the match, I was like, oh, like I don't know who it was, but like, sorry that person yelled in your backswing, and they were like, oh, I did not notice at all.
Which is, it's actually an actual pet peeve of mine, and anyone under the leagues here will tell you that I'm very, very vocal about it.
Yeah.
Sometimes too much. But I actually, the only reason for it for me is safety.
Yeah.
Because if I am there and someone yells, I have an axe in my hands,
Yeah.
and someone yells my name,
And you turn.
I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm about to kill someone,
Yeah.
or like it's legit very sharp object I'm carrying. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm doing something
So-
that dangerous.
So you want to make sure that the room is safe and we're not distracting people while they're doing these
Absolutely,
tasks.
absolutely. So for me, I know people are like in the zone and they would like to concentrate. I'm not one of those. For me, it's
Right.
literally just
Distraction
the
comes up.
safety.
Yeah.
I stop everything I'm doing like right away, because I'm like, maybe I'm about to hurt someone, which
Yeah.
I would like to avoid at all costs. Double clutch it.
Yeah. 27's all day out here.
I know. It's hey, I cannot complain. I got a couple of those myself.
Nice.
So.
And I mean, so for the folks at home that maybe are new to axe throwing, the way the points are scored is the bullseye, that black ring that you're seeing is worth 5 points. The red ring inside of that is worth 3. The blue ring is worth 1, and then outside of that blue ring, except for those green dots, is 0. Those green dots are worth 7. It is called the clutch, and it is only available on the final throw in the hatchet round. And in Big Axe, it is only available after both throwers have hit their bullseye on their first round. That's what we refer to as unlocking the clutch. So here we are with Phil taking a chance here to unlock his clutch.
Yeah, and so
he does.
So he does.
Now the clutches are available. We can go for the higher point value. And Phil and Nico have touched axes, which is the sign that they're both agreed to go for clutch. Now, the reason they need to agree is because they're throwing at different times, and we want to make sure that somebody doesn't miss a clutch and then the next person just throws a bullseye and takes an easy win, or throws a 1 because it's a huge target, right?
Yes.
But even if they could, Nico has already hit his clutch.
Kind of safe there.
So here we go.
But yeah, I think
Phil
it's
to throw clutch. If he misses this clutch, Nico does take the match and will be your champion.
That what math tells us.
Phil throws and he misses. And Nico Givas. During the day, we played some matches, and then we were going to go out for dinner and stuff. And once we got everybody together and we were about to go out for dinner from the Airbnb we were at, Nico was like, "Oh, I just want to stop in at the venue. It's league tonight." And we were like, "Oh, sure." So we stop in for league night, and he introduced us to a dozen different people, and it was like this is this person. They're in their first season, and last week they hit their first perfect round. And then he's like, and this person's been here for 3 seasons, and they just got their first perfect match this season.
Right.
And he knew so much about every single person in that room. You could just tell he was just like, he loves everyone so much, and he really
I
cares.
totally believe it because he came. I think it was Friday night that he came in for before the brawl and everything in practice. Yeah, it was absolutely the same. The same feeling that he brought with him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I absolutely believe it. So I'm very happy, even though like we literally know each other for like 48 hours.
Yeah.
I couldn't be happier.
We've just been given the sign that we're wrapping this up here. I just want to say thanks to you, Maria, for joining me.
Thank you for having me here, and thank you all for coming to Montreal.
Yeah, and thank you so much to our sponsors, Padoka, Rona, and Cold Steel. This has been an incredible weekend. This has been an incredible event.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much to all the throwers that came from out of town for this tournament. And I believe this is where we wrap it up. Congratulations to Nico, and we will catch you guys on the next one. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great night.
I wanted a big piece of cardboard.
Sorry, folks. I was just told we are staying live to present the final the checks and to present the winners with their winnings. Here's Nico getting his giant check here.
I always wanted to see one live. I'm very happy right now.
And also the trophy, which is an awesome Big X trophy. That's so cool.
Oh, this is so awesome. There is a little trophy dance.
Oh, the hair is coming down.
There are so many excited people. Like you would think that there is a winner and he's excited. You should see the rest. Okay, that is a little dangerous.
Yeah.
We're right in the. Okay, we're out of line of fire.
Here we go.
Or you never know when it happens with sparkling.
And of course, we can't get the wine bottle open. There we go. Oh, wow.
It's a lot of talents in one person.
Oh!
Not in my car!